She says she loves you, but her actions tell a different story. She tells you she respects you, but her behavior chips away at your dignity. She looks you in the eyes with a smile, but behind that smile, there are warning signs. Men ignore these signals every day, and because of it, they suffer. They lose their peace. They lose their power. Some even lose their lives. So listen closely, because today I'll reveal 7 female behaviors no man should ever ignore. Not if you value your respect, not if you value your strength, not if you value your future. Stay locked in. This might be the most important message you'll hear this year. Behavior 1. Disrespect in public. When a woman openly mocks you, belittles you in front of others, rolls her eyes at your words, or cuts you down when you speak, do not ignore it. Disrespect in public is not a joke. It is a declaration. She's showing the world that you are not the man she respects. She's sending a signal that she can treat you without dignity, and you will accept it. Most men laugh it off. They excuse it. They pretend it's just her personality. But what begins as small digs becomes deep wounds. And once respect is lost in public, it rarely returns in private. A Stoic man doesn't explode. He doesn't argue. He simply refuses to tolerate disrespect, because the moment you accept disrespect, you teach her how to treat you. Behavior 2. Withholding affection as control. When she uses affection as a weapon, when intimacy is no longer love but leverage, you must not ignore it. Affection should be a choice, not a tool of manipulation. When she withholds to punish, to test, or to control, she is not connecting, she is dominating. A man who ignores this quickly finds himself enslaved by it. He starts bending to her moods. He starts negotiating for her attention. He becomes a beggar in his own relationship. But a Stoic man understands. Love given freely is love. Love used as control is poison, and no man should ever submit to poison. Behavior 3. Constant comparison. When she constantly compares you to other men, her ex, her co-worker, a celebrity, even her father, do not dismiss it. Comparison is a weapon that cuts deep into your frame. It tells you you're not enough. It chips away at your confidence. It makes you fight for validation that will never be given. A woman who respects you does not need to compare you. She sees your value. She embraces your uniqueness. But when comparison becomes constant, understand this: she doesn't see your worth, and if she doesn't see it now, she won't see it later. A Stoic man does not compete for value. He embodies it, and he walks away from anyone who cannot recognize it. Behavior 4. Testing boundaries repeatedly. Every woman will test a man. It's natural, it's instinctual. But when those tests become endless, when every boundary you set is pushed, challenged, broken, pay attention. A woman who constantly tests your limits isn't seeking reassurance, she's seeking dominance. And here's the truth: a man who cannot enforce his boundaries will always lose respect, not just from her, but from himself. A Stoic man doesn't shout, he doesn't beg, he simply stands firm. Boundaries are not suggestions, they are non-negotiables. If she cannot respect them, she cannot respect you. Behavior 5. Disappearing acts. She vanishes for hours. She goes silent for days. She reappears with excuses, and you pretend it's fine. You tell yourself maybe she was busy. But deep down, you know. A woman who values you does not disappear. A woman who respects you does not vanish without explanation. Disappearing acts are manipulation. They are silent tests of control. And every time you let them slide, you teach her, my time is cheap, my presence is optional. But a Stoic man sees clearly. Silence may be golden, but disrespectful silence is poison, and he refuses to drink it. Behavior 6. Playing victim to avoid accountability. Watch closely when conflict arises. Does she own her mistakes, or does every issue somehow become your fault? If she plays the victim every time, if she twists blame and avoids accountability, do not ignore it, because a relationship without accountability is a relationship without growth. And a woman who cannot admit fault will never truly respect you. She will never truly respect herself. A Stoic man doesn't get dragged into emotional games. He doesn't fight over blame. He simply demands accountability. And if it never comes, he moves forward alone. Because peace without accountability is not peace, it is slavery. Behavior 7. Contempt for your mission. This is the most dangerous behavior of all. When a woman mocks your dreams, belittles your goals, dismisses your ambitions as silly or unrealistic, do not ignore it, because a man's mission is his life. Without mission, he is nothing. Without purpose, he is lost. A woman who does not support your mission is not a partner. She is a burden. She will drain your drive. She will weaken your resolve. She will suffocate your greatness. But a Stoic man never sacrifices his mission for approval. He never abandons his purpose for affection, because he knows the right woman respects the mission, the wrong woman resents it, and no man should ever chain himself to resentment. Closing reflections. These are the 7 female behaviors no man should ever ignore. Public disrespect, affection as control, constant comparison, endless boundary testing, disappearing acts, playing victim to avoid accountability, contempt for your mission. Most men see these behaviors and excuse them. They tell themselves it's just how she is. But every time you ignore them, you chip away at your dignity. You trade peace for chaos. You trade strength for weakness. But you are not most men. You are stoic. You are disciplined. You are unshakable. And once you see these behaviors clearly, you'll never accept them again. So the next time you see the signs, remember this message. Respect yourself enough to walk away. Respect yourself enough to stand tall. Respect yourself enough to never settle. Because the man who refuses to ignore the warning signs is the man who wins his freedom. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever ignored these behaviors? What did it cost you? Drop your story in the comments. Like this video if it gave you clarity. Share it with a brother who needs this truth. And subscribe because we're building men of strength, discipline, and stoic power. Stay calm, stay focused, stay unbothered.